Hi there, Sandra here from the Schwowin's Nest. Today I am hosting a Goodwill Wreath Collab with a bunch of awesome YouTube channels. Once you're done with my video, please go check out the playlist and see all of the wonderful things that everyone else has created. This collab is about taking items that you would find at a thrift store and making a wreath out of it. I gave everybody carte blanche with this, and they were able to do absolutely whatever they wanted as long as something on their wreath was from a thrift store. In my last haul at the thrift store, I found these 3 little mini wreaths for $1.99, and I thought they would be perfect for this collab. So what I'm going to do is create 3 different looks with these mini wreaths. For the first one, I'm using the grapevine, and I decided to do something spring and Easter related. This big wreath was another awesome haul that I got, and check out all the eggs on them, and they're different sizes and I love the colors. So what I'm doing is trimming off some of the little ones, and I'm going to do probably 10 or 12 little eggs, and those are going to be included on this wreath. So a while back, I had said the first time I was using some Spanish moss that I hated using moss because it makes a mess, and it does make a mess. However, I'm starting to like working with it, and I'm starting to like how it looks when it's done. So I found a little trick here. I try to break things up with the moss inside the plastic bag to minimize the mess. So what I'm going to do is just take strips of this moss, and this was from Dollar Tree, and just glue it all around the wreath. Step 3 for this is just take some hot glue and glue those little eggs on in any shape, style, form that you want. I really love how this one turned out. It's super cute. For this wreath, I'm going to add some of these greenery leaves that I picked up at my Dollarama, it's a local dollar store here in Canada, and I'm going to use leaves in groups of 3, and I will glue them on the outside of this little wreath, making it look bigger than it actually is. I'm taking the stems and I'm placing them in the middle of the branches, so not at the very top, not at the very bottom, but in the middle. And then once I have them kind of designed the way I want them to look, I'll use some hot glue to secure them in place. Before I started to hot glue, I realized that I wanted the darker leaves on first, so I went ahead and trimmed those, and now I'm just going to glue them in place. Every once in a while, you're going to see me flip it over to the back, because what I'm doing is gluing on the back side so you don't see so much glue on top of the wreath. Now I'm going to start with the lighter toned leaves, and I don't have as many as I did on the bottom ones, so I'm going to go ahead and just space them out so it looks fairly even. When I think of spring flowers, I think of tiny little buds that are just starting to get warm from the sun and open up just a little wee bit. So I decided to take this bunch of purple flowers. They do come in a larger bunch, but I trimmed them down so each piece would be individual, and then I'd be able to make it look like they were tiny little flowers just getting ready to blossom. I'm just gluing them in randomly all around the wreath, and I'm going to make sure that there's some on the inside, some on the wood part, and then some also on the exterior on the green leaves. I really liked the way the wreath was starting to look, but I still felt it needed a little bit of something. So I found these little fern bits that I have. It's off of a vine, and I've been pulling pieces off of this forever. So what I decided to do was just tuck some of these in and around the leaves, some longer pieces, some shorter pieces, and just give the wreath a little bit more texture. I really love how this one turned out. It's very sweet. It will probably be showing up on my Etsy shop, so go check that out too. This last wreath I thought had some really good lines to it, so I took some cream acrylic paint and just dry brushed it on, made sure that some of the brown was still showing through, but I just love that cute little star pattern that's on there. Since I'm doing a farmhouse nautical look in my family room this summer, I decided to create a little life preserver out of this little wreath. So I'm just going to use some of the Dollar Tree nautical rope and make 4 rings around it, and they're going to be 3 rings deep, if that makes sense. I'm going to wrap it around 3 times. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm doing here is adding some hot glue to the end of the rope, and I'm just going to use the end of a paintbrush and use that hot glue to just smooth down the edges of the rope, because then it won't fray. Each time I wrap the rope around to the back, I'm securing it with hot glue and just making sure it's nice and snug and pushed up against the other piece of rope that's already there. Here's how it looks with the nautical rope on it. And what I'm going to do next is, the life preservers always have like a little bit of rope all the way around the edges, and that's, I guess, to hang it somewhere and to make sure somebody can grab it when you're throwing out into the water. So I'm going to go ahead and trim some pieces and then glue them on, give them a little bit of a bend so they stick out from the wreath, and hopefully it'll look like a little life preserver. I'm going to repeat the process on the other side, and then I'm also going to use 2 smaller pieces and do the same thing for the other sections. So all 4 sections have a little piece of rope kind of sticking out. The last thing I'm going to do to this little guy is add a little wooden cutout anchor. This I picked up at Michael's. I believe they're less than $1. So I've had this in my stash for a while, and I thought, what a perfect little addition to this buoy. I'd like to thank all of the ladies who joined me in this collab. Don't forget to click on that playlist link and go see what they've created. If you enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up, like, comment, share my video. Don't forget to subscribe, and click the bell to get notified when I upload new content. Thanks for watching!